Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Next in this video I'll show you how to replace the spark plugs in your V6 Saab 9.3. Stay tuned. The V6 Saab 9.3 produced before 2008 uses different spark plugs from cars produced 2008 and on. This is the spark plug number for the 2008 and up models. For cars produced before 2008 with the B284E engine, use the first number from this list. For the B284L engine, you can use the newer spark plugs. Next, you can see the difference in part number between different model years. In summary, use the newer plugs for the B284L or R engine and the older plugs for the B284E engine. The tools that we're gonna use today is a 7mm socket, a 10mm socket, a 16mm spark plug socket, some extensions, 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch drives, a 10mm combination wrench, a torque wrench, and a flathead long screwdriver. We'll start by releasing the two connectors of the ECU. To do so, press the connector's locking tab to release the clamp. Then at the same time, fold forward the clamp and push or pull the connector slide. Here I'm pushing and pulling the lower connector slide with a screwdriver. Use the 7mm socket to remove both ground cables from the ECU. I'm really sorry for the noise in the background, but there is nothing I can do. Use the 10mm socket to remove the top two bolts holding the ECU. Use the 10mm wrench to remove the lower ones. A ratcheting wrench would help here. Use the 10mm socket to remove the main cable, then remove the atmospheric sensor and its bracket. Fold away the cable and the bracket for extra room. Next, remove the brake vacuum connection from the intake manifold by pressing the tab, pushing the connector in, then pulling it out. Remove the one bolt holding the bracket for the PCV check valves, then pull the valves out and separate them. Now use the 10mm socket with a long extension to loosen the one bolt holding each coil. Now use the screwdriver to help in separating the coil connector. You will see how while undoing the front coils. Once the connector is disconnected, pull the coil out. Now use the spark plug socket with the extension. Make sure they sit straight at the spark plugs. This car has 90,000 miles on it, and the plugs never been changed, although they don't look that bad, but the gap became excessive for this application. I don't use any anti-seize as it's not recommended by NGK. Make sure you start the plugs by hand all the way until they are tight. Torque the spark plugs to 28 Nm or 21 foot-pound. I think at this point I had doubts about my torque wrench. That's why I'm taking it easy. I should have taken this bracket out from beginning, but what kind of video without mistakes? Remove the top two bolts, then just slightly loose the third one at the bottom. Do the same thing with the connector. And because this coil is hard to reach, I use two picks to pull it out. I diagnosed this car recently, found out two bad coils, number 5 and number 6. Very common indeed, and it's probably due to their location relative to turbo heat. These coils were moved to different spots during the diagnosis. For example, number 5 ended up in number 2 location. For that, we will change the complete set of coils in the rear bank. Put the old good ones at the front and keep one as a spare. Now I put the coils in, tighten their bolts and install the connectors. Installation is the reverse of removal. Put the PCV check valves in their bracket and attach the bracket to the intake manifold, then connect the brake vacuum hose. Install the main wiring bracket with the atmospheric sensor. Next, put back the ECU and its bracket, then connect the grounding points and the main connectors. Next is the easy part. Note how I use the screwdriver to separate the coil connector. You can't remove the number 4 connector without lifting the coil slightly first. Note how I marked number 2 coil, which was number 5 originally. I'm replacing it with a good old coil from the rear bank. I only use power tools after I loosen the plugs. Again, tighten the 3 plugs at once to 28 Nm or 21 foot-pound. In a future video, I'll show you how to diagnose a common reason for a misfire in the 2 and 2.8 engines. There's lots of information and tricks in that video, so stay tuned. Thank you guys and girls for watching. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Bye bye.